John and I went to IVC together. John and I have been together since high school. John is extremely humble. He's not the type that's going to draw attention to himself or share all the good that he does on a day-to-day basis. But I think the most impactful thing that stands out is the way the story sort of played out. Having gone from being a stellar athlete in high school to coming to Imperial Valley College and being a stellar athlete here, that ultimately landed him a scholarship to play out of state. He got to experience what it was like to be here locally, to be celebrated, and then also to go to a completely foreign place. His perseverance through some adversity and challenges there ultimately led him back home where he can share that story. Also, the opportunities that exist at the high school and post-secondary level and how you can really use that as a foundation for your future. He's a really good example of what students can do locally when they leverage the opportunities before them here at IVC and utilize those as sort of a catapult or a jumpstart to really setting the foundation for a strong future that's going to help them to live a healthy and productive life. Frank Wright Middle School here in Imperial. He's been an educator there for 25 years, which also goes to show his level of commitment. Loves his students, and that's very evident if you were ever to walk into his classroom. With regards to coaching, he's coached over 500 students, and those are students in what you would call organized sports, right? Through school and through rec leagues and things of that nature. But he also won't hesitate to jump out and play with students. And so he leads by example with his student teachers and students that he's just had in class or that he's mentored. That's been really special to see when they come into his classroom and the coaching that he provides to them and opportunities to practice their craft in his classroom as they're preparing to take on their own classrooms. The feedback that he provides, friendships emerge with even former students. It's just a beautiful thing to be able to see the impact that a truly caring educator can have in the lives of students and the adults that they work with. So he's pretty awesome. I think it's really important for our students to see that there is a good here in Imperial County, that we can leverage our experience and education at Imperial Valley College into careers and experiences that can ultimately help us to give back to our community in a really meaningful way. Those stories aren't told often enough. Educators do a lot of little things with great love, and it really is something exemplary that I believe we should elevate. John has had really great parents who raised him really well, exemplifying the whole notion of giving back. So I have to give credit to Mr. and Mrs. Cabanilla for that. He also had a lot of great adult mentors in his life. But at the end of the day, he just has a really beautiful heart and care for all those in his family, his friends, those he loves, and his school and Imperial Valley community at large.
When I was a student in 1995 to 1997, it was an exciting time. It was my chance to start my college education. It was also a chance to start my college basketball career. It was really nice to be able to stay home and stay kind of in the comfortable and protected Imperial Valley. I got to play for a very successful coach in Coach Deo, and I got to play for Coach Swart after that. In the big picture of my life, I think that first chapter after high school was really important because it allowed me the chance to earn a 2-year degree, to transfer, to earn a scholarship for basketball. Because of that scholarship and the school that gave me the scholarship, I went to school in Southern Indiana. I made some lifelong friends over there to communicate with. I actually got to see some of them recently because our senior team, we actually got inducted into our Schools Hall of Fame because we won a National Christian Schools Championship. The school's name was Oakland City University. We were a small Division II school. The IVC allowed for me to be able to continue to play basketball, to continue to work toward my bachelor's degree at that time, and eventually my teaching credential, and later on my master's degree. I went to a kind of a semi-pro tryout for teams in Europe. I went flew to Chicago. I was down in Mexico for a short time to play in their league. You know, it was always going to be that I'm going to come back to the Imperial Valley and kind of serve the young people just like caring adults help us. I decided to leave after I graduated and to come back into to work on my credential here in California because I knew I would live in the Imperial Valley. I started subbing in Brawley Elementary, Brawley High School, and it just so happened right after I got into the teacher education program that an opening occurred in Imperial Unified School District. At that time it was just Frank Wright, and it was teaching 7th grade social studies, and so that is where I started. I did that for several years, and then I did 7th and 8th. I think with my students, I would hope that I am helping them to kind of broaden their horizons, to see outside of the Imperial Valley, to maybe exposing them that, you know, someone that grew up in the Imperial Valley like myself has had the opportunity to do several things in terms of education, sports, travel, experiences. I've worked with students for a very long time. I've coached students a very long time, and now I'm starting to see previous students join the education ranks, counseling ranks. Even one of my past students, he's a medical doctor in El Centro. So we've had a lot of talented students come through the Imperial Unified School District, and I've gotten to work with many of them, and I'm super proud of that. And you know, as we get older, we do think of all the people that helped us on our journey, that supported us, that taught us, that coached us, people that we looked up to. At the very beginning, I wanted to do that, and I think that's why even though at IVC I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I think education, being involved in youth sports, being involved in the community was always something that I was aiming to do. The impact that I want to leave, I think I'm already seeing. I'm seeing a lot of students really do value education. Community is important to them, and I think many of them, they're exhibiting a lot of things that I try to stress to them in the classroom and on the basketball court and other places. IVC is an institution that has served so many different people, and I was fortunate to be able to come here to use it as a kind of a launching point to who I would become later on in life. A really special thing to be recognized by such a long-standing college that served so many people and has been so important in the Imperial Valley, and I'm just humbled and super happy that I was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I would first like to thank my wonderful wife. She's always by my side. She's my best friend and the love of my life, and I thank her for everything she's ever done for me. I would also like to thank my parents for always supporting me, for paying for those flights to fly back and forth to Indiana. I'd like to thank my dad for always pushing me, being proud of me, and so thank you for that. Family members, thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate all of your support and love as well. I hope this nomination and induction is something that we as a family can all be proud of, because it's all of us together that support, that have helped myself and the others to be the people that we are. So thank you so much. Love you guys.